2 years.
One in Hickory and one in Lenore.
Yeah, exactly. That's been a while.
Yeah, we got another one in April.
Yeah, I just saw the flyer for that.
Okay.
Jumping in. Why did I do this? I turned that off. It's almost requested. Antonio.
What's that? What read AI meeting
Yeah.
notes? That's brand new.
Yeah.
So basically, once you log off, you can click it and it'll give you all the notes that
Yeah.
pulls up.
We've done it for a couple of meetings. I just didn't do it, so I was
No,
trying to figure out. who did.
it's brand new. So just makes your job a little easier.
Ready to pass this? Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get started. Thank you for joining us today for our March Vmfa meeting. We have two panelists here today to talk about social enrichment. We have Jason Watson with Kennerson Ranch, and we have Lynn Marilla with, did I say that right, Marilla? Okay, with Eagle Rock Camp. Before we get into the meat of it, we're going to first cover we like to talk about our objectives before every VMFA meeting, which are to identify gaps, opportunities, and barriers in service to improve service for veterans and military families, coordinate information on services for veterans and military families, and educate veterans, military families, and community advocates on community-based efforts in suicide prevention. So we're gonna go around the room real quick and introduce ourselves. Please give your name, your organization, your military affiliation, and we're gonna do a fun poll question today, based on our topic today, which is what are your current favorite hobbies or activities? So what you're doing right now to fulfill those needs. I'll start. My name is Landry Young. I am the marketing and outreach manager here at the Joel Fund. My husband is actively serving right now at Fort Bragg. And my current favorite activity is tennis.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say.
Well, that's not tennis, you need somebody to do it with.
True.
So for that social aspect.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. I'll pass it off to you.
Good afternoon. I'm Antonio Burt, Marine veteran, Veterans Bridge Home Community Coordinator for the Triangle Market. For this season, it is preparing my yard to garden with my daughter.
Oh,
That's
So,
nice.
Yeah.
Are you gonna like grow some stuff with her?
But I'm a ring thumber.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I like to, we built, so each year it gets bigger and better. So it started with a plastic swimming pool to something else. To this year, I'm actually ditching up parts of the side of the yard that doesn't grow anything and moving the planter boxes over there. So I can have some of my yard back and moving everything and then trapping rabbits and releasing them to the wild. Maybe.
What?
Because
So they don't eat your stuff?
no, because our subdivision has been taken over by new housing development, so the rabbits have nowhere to live at besides wherever they can find trees at.
Oh, you're moving them.
Yeah.
Oh,
To the
okay.
wild.
They might be, or they might be grilled up, you know, the rabbit chops in the backyard.
Okay.
It's actually really good.
No, we're gonna move them, so hopefully, we're gonna move them.
Okay, just let us know when the barbecue.
You see grilled rabbit on the menu at the Joe Front.
Craig.
You're funny. I'm Greg Wood of Drum for Change. I'm an Air Force Security Forces veteran. My pastime of recent has been pressure washing, but my activity for the spring is paddleboarding. So looking forward to getting back out of the water.
I'm Isabella Brzezinski. I am the Operation Art Program Manager here at the Joel Fund. My dad is an Army veteran. I thought I'd have enough time in between here. I'm doing crocheting. That's what I'm doing. I'm crocheting my friend a baby blanket.
Oh, that's
Very nice.
I'm Jason Watson, retired Navy SEAL for 27 years. After I came out of active duty, I stayed with the Navy and became a contractor for another 12 years, and then I retired from that and started a new venture with Kennerson Ranch at Lake Gaston, where I give back and I serve and support veterans and any of active duty members that need to have a stress relief environment, especially for the veterans, though, to have a place they can call their own. They can enjoy both working ranch and lake-like living. I'm keeping myself pretty busy with that, but I also have a cervid elk ranch. So if you think rabbit's good on the menu, you should come over and try some of the elk on the menu too. It's pretty good, but really heavy into conservation. I got a 5-year vision of reintroducing elk into the wildlife in North Carolina. And we're working on a new association for cervid ranchers in North Carolina with Steve Troxler right now.
Oh, that's really cool.
I'm Caroline Griffin. I work at the Durham VA Medical Center in the Caregiver Support Program. My military connection is this gentleman right here. And my is social enrichment hobby? Is that what the question? I love to shop. I love to bake, and I really don't need anybody else to do this.
Don't want to catch that.
I'm Waylon Griffin. I also work at the Durham VA with the Office of Employee Experience. I did 22 years Navy as well, Expeditionary Combat Command. And my hobbies is board games, nerd games, and stuff. Yeah.
What's your favorite board game?
I mean, I don't really have a favorite. I like some of the classics like Risk and stuff, but
I was gonna say Trump.
I mean, I love Magic the Gathering too. That's one of my favorites. So
Yeah, Risk is banned in my household.
yeah, Risk and Monopoly are hard. They're
I fight.
enemies. Yeah.
I love it.
I'm Jessica Stremo. I'm founder of Back in the Saddle. I'm a civilian, but proud family member of a bunch of different people in a bunch of different branches over the generations. So I'm very blessed because my work is also my hobby and my passion is to work with horses. And so when I'm not seeing clients, I have the opportunity to do social riding with friends. And we do things like ride across country and take the horses into Youngsville downtown and have a coffee, ice cream, or a beer, depending on the time of day. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We stop traffic, so if you see us out there, just slow down and please don't honk because people are like, hey, and you're like, stop. Horses don't love that. And then the other thing I did, and I just recently did this, and thanks to the Joel Fund for making it social, is I create beaded jewelry designs. And so part of it was for raising money for my for the nonprofit. And then I got to teach class. So that was really social and really different because it's a very obviously a solo kind of activity until you're trying to explain to somebody else how to do it. So that presented its own little basket of challenges, but we did it. So it was excited. Yeah. It was great.
Hello, I'm Brooke Dickhart. I'm the executive director of the Joel Fund. I'm gearing up for golf season.
Okay.
I like to golf. So
Staff
I'm
trip?
awful at it, but I do enjoy it. Staff trip for golf. Oh, me, I never golfed. I also enjoy pickleball. That's fun too.
Yeah, that's, my pickleball partner is away.
Oh, yeah.
But when he's back, we're gonna get back to
There you go.
You know, they got a pickleball court right here, like.
Yeah,
Roseville in there?
Clarity.
Yeah.
Yes, I was like, what? I
Mhm.
was like, okay.
It's a big thing apparently.
All right.
Yes.
All right, going online, Lynn?
Hi, I'm Lynn Marilla with Eagle Rock Camp. We do marriage and family retreats for active duty, National Guard, reserves, and special operations active duty. Would like to do more and more active duty. We've learned something interesting about that, and I'll share that later. But I'm a multi-generational military family member. I did not serve, but I'm an Army World War I granddaughter, Army Air Corps World War II daughter, and the mother of a Navy guy that was on the John F. Kennedy.
Do you have any favorite hobbies or activities that you're doing right now?
Oh, favorite hobbies. When I can find spare time, I like to mess around with watercolors.
Paul?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Paul Berry. I served 30 years in the Marine Corps with Veterans Bridge Home and Triangle as a network director. And I recently thought I'd take up a hobby. I'm thinking about taking up fishing, if you know me, just dabble in it, see if I like it.
Aha.
So good.
Lisa?
Hello, I'm Lisa Crum. I'm the grants manager at the Joel Fund. I am a granddaughter, daughter, veteran, spouse and mother of Air Force. So lots of connection there. And my current favorite hobby is traveling, but as we go into the summer, it will be gardening.
Allie?
Hi, everyone. I'm Allie Anderson. I'm the community care manager for the Joel Fund. Both my parents served, my sister is serving, and my husband is currently serving active duty in the Army. Consistent hobby throughout the year has been sourdough, which has been a lot of fun.
And you make it social too by sharing the starter.
My starter has several children and grandchildren, so very proud of it.
Some of the best sourdough I've ever had. I had it for breakfast.
Yesenia?
Hey everyone, Marine Corps veteran, mother, Air Force, Army, whole family. I got nephews, I got brother-in-law, so we're a full big military family. Current hobby, I would have to say wine connoisseur. I'm joking. No, but I really don't have a hobby. I dabble in a lot of little things, but I do like to put my headphones on and just pull weeds, do some yard or walking. So, but nothing really consistent.
Matt?
Hey everybody, good afternoon. I'm Matt DeVivo, Reserve Component Transition Assistance Advisor, Reserve Component Benefits basically, and I am a Army veteran and retiree. I like playing guitar and hanging out with my dog and talking gossip in the neighborhood.
Melissa?
Hi, I am Melissa Yates. I am the program manager for the Warrior Bridge program with Employment Source down in Fayetteville. I'm also a therapist. I do some nonprofit work with the Special Operations Foundation Network, where we try to find guys who are in the special operations community who aren't really willing to see therapy on base, but need someone. We're kind of like a confidential organization for them to kind of reach out to. And my hobby is driving my children to all of their sporting events. But I did dabble in pickleball this past week, and it was a lot of fun. So I might try to take that up if I can find some time.
Nice. I love it. We got to create a little pickleball league. Yeah. Jill?
Hey, I'm Jill Blakeney with the Mustangs and Patriots Project. I am have combined service with the Army and the Navy as both enlisted and an officer. I retired after 23 years, and again, I want to say reserve. My hobbies are right now, I am working on improving my Liberty skills with my Mustangs, baking low-carb breads and crackers, and just planning events that we got coming up for Mustangs and Patriots.
And Carla?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Carla Jackson. I am a Navy veteran. My husband just retired after 27 and a half years with the Navy. Come from a big Navy family. And my hobby is, I didn't say where I work. I'm the Veteran Services Supervisor for Wake County, working over the housing area. And my hobby right now is about to morph into getting my house ready to sell and then getting a new one. I'm still going to be around here though. I'm still going to be in the same job. I'm not moving out of the area. We're just moving to a bigger house. I saw your face, Brooke.
He's like, whoa, hold on.
I'm just moving to a bigger house.
You start the sentence with that? I think I'm meeting a hobby. That's rough. All right, awesome. Thank you. We'll get started with our panel discussion about social enrichment. So my first question, I'll start with you, Jason, is or actually, I'm skipping ahead. Paul sent over some data from NC Serves. Paul, would you like to quickly give a run through of those key points from the data on social enrichment?
Yeah, are you able to share them? If not, I can just speak to them.
Yes, I will share, but you speak to them too. Give me a second to pull them up.
Or you don't have to. I mean, I can keep it moving. I just, real quick for the group, in the Triangle area, the 10 counties in the last 5 years, about 3,400 veterans have asked for some kind of social enrichment connection. And then Landry, they can share these when you follow up with the email. Yeah, there you go. And that's hard to see, but you can read it sometime later. And this is through the NC Serves network. What's good about it is out of all the services that are provided for veterans, social enrichment has the greatest outcomes because it's easy to do. We just got to get the veterans connected. Like 94%, if you see up there in the upper right, of the cases were resolved favorably when a veteran was looking for social enrichment connections. I think an area for improvement for organizations that work with us is getting the family members, the caregivers, spouses, and widows and survivors also connected to social enrichment and not just veterans, because you can see that data there. So no, that was really it, Landry. Just wanted to make sure that, and most of them are looking for, and I had to read into the slides. You see that map and you see all them other states. Veterans from 30 different states asked NC Serves for social enrichment connections because a lot of them were moving here. So they want to know things about like Operation Art and what Jessica does and back in like what everybody does. They want to know those things. And that's a good thing that we're seeing, particularly in the last few years, is not only hey, I need a house, I need a job, but also like what fun things are there to do in my community for veteran and veteran families. So we're proud of that. And really, Brooke and Landry, thanks for putting this together because social enrichment is how this all starts. If we can get them connected, then we've got them. We can make sure that they're taken care of for life. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Wow, that's really great. I love the proactiveness we're seeing out of the states. All right, so we'll jump into our questions. Jason, could you please explain more about your role within the organization and how you serve veterans?
Well, I'll start by just adding on about the social atmosphere. At Kennerson Ranch, I'm also Kennerson Ranch Foundation. If you look on the website, it's kennersonranchlkg.com. And it'll give you a snapshot of everything that we have available. But the main emphasis and vision of when I built the facility was to give back and support and serve veterans and active duty and military personnel, to include youth, children, and spouses. Currently, I'm working with the Still Future Foundation, which is heavy into social, which mainly was at first team guys that are retired, excuse me, that would get together and they'd meet up again and so forth, and we'd have a lot of things to do. Now we're adding the spouses and the children. Well, I had that from day one. So my goal was to actually bring the family member, bring two couples together and so forth, bring the youth together. So I actually have three families coming in April. I'm on the list right now for Operation Healing Forces to send 4 couples out. The Navy SEAL Foundation, I was going through them with the Gold Star families and youth and so forth. Again, being at Lake Gaston, I have one of the biggest recreational facilities in North Carolina and / Virginia, as in being able to do things. The retreat there, if you don't book early, it's hard to get a lot of things. Fortunate for me to have this facility dedicated to give back and to have the guests come out and enjoy, like I said before, ranching, understanding wildlife conservation, which we're big into. A lot of land classes, marine classes, things that they would, necessarily wouldn't pick up in school, but we teach them the same thing we did when we were going through training. If you're out there in the woods, how do you get home? If you're at night, what do you do? How does the stars work? How do you do this? So you're using physics and so forth, but in an actual real world environment. And then you have the lake. So we have everything. I have the pontoon boat for cruising and so forth like that for all the couples. We have the V-hole boat, which is for wakeboarding, wake surfing, and tubing and stuff like that. I have guided fishing professionally on the lake for them to get together and go fishing. Steve is a retired pilot, so we work together and he gives them flights around the lake. I work with a golf course also, so I have my second annual golf tournament this September, 20th of September, and it was a huge success. And that's to actually make funds to help Kennerson Ranch continue, but also to actually help bring in more out there to the actual facility. My goal is, I own everything, self-propriety for it. And I didn't really want to have any partners or anything with it because I didn't want to have meetings and meetings about what type of gravel I needed around the building or where am I going to locate to do this and so forth. So I had a vision in 2020 and I bought the tree farm, I cleared it and so forth, and I built everything and finished by 2023 and opened up for 2024 to start bringing people in. It hasn't been the volume like I wanted, only because reaching out for the logistics side of the house the first time into other nonprofits and organizations is not a turnkey saying, oh yeah, next week we got this. It's a year. You know, it takes time to get everything done. There's classes you have to go for youth and things like that. You have to keep them up. There's a vetting process and so forth with some of them that are not. So, you know, I've done most everything for the ones that I'm working with. I've done everything for the ones I'm working with. But it's always looking for other events, youth outdoor challenge events, you know, like the run, swim, run, mud crawls, things for, you know, physics, memory skills, sim games and things of that nature. Then we have, you know, different types of cookouts and so forth, and all that's inclusive in the facility itself. So when they come out here, I don't want them to worry about costing. I don't want them to worry about, well, where's the restaurant and so forth, because everything is there provided for them. So that was actually my number one vision. The second thing was to actually have animals for therapeutic wellness for them also. So I have miniature stallions and donkeys out there for them. They don't have a 15-hand horse, which will terrify them. And it's great for the parents, it's great for the adults, and it's great for the kids. And then further down, I have on the property, I have the Cervid Ranch, which I've started 3 years ago for Rocky Mountain elk. I started with 3, I have 6 now. So again, it's something that's majestic out there, and people are astonished to see those. And that's a whole nother lane that I'm pursuing, and for the conservation of North Carolina, and also to give back. And for people and individuals that actually see the animals, it works wonders. We also have a few things coming in for the yoga and for fitness exercises that come in there, nutritionists and so forth, that are also there while we have all these other recreational activities involved. The arts center around the lake is pretty good. Actually, I'll tell you, it's above par. You have the Weldon Mills Theater that's there, that Bruce owns, and there's a lot of concerts out there. And then in Littleton, Acorn Theater, they just remodeled, and they have the outside amphitheater, but they also have the indoor. And there's a lot of entertainment for skits and for youth groups and for everyone to get together for plays, theater, music, and so forth that's out there. I can go on and on and on. It's an awesome place to be. I'm fortunate enough to have both a ranch and lake life environment for whoever comes out there. I'm sure there's going to be things later on, some of the things, my shortfalls and so forth, and lesson learned, which we can get to in there. But overall, it's busy, and I want to get busier.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Lynn, could you explain more about your role with Eagle Rock Camp and how your organization serves veterans?
Sure. I'm the founder and CEO of the organization. We are, oh gosh, long story short, God tapped me on the shoulder in December of 2010 and said, I want you to do this. And I'm like, do what? And had my Moses moment with me, really, seriously. It's been a slow climb. We are a bunch of years old, much older now. We're 15 years old. Technically, we're 14 years old in August of this year. Took us a while to figure it out, but our focus, no matter what we did with focus groups, looking at different ways to serve the veteran, we discovered the family. So we are very family focused. We teach best-in-class marriage and family program, and we are a faith-based organization. So there comes a biblical reference that goes with it. When I say we're faith-based, we minister spiritually and prayerfully with permission only. We do not preach and evangelize. So we don't want to scare anybody off and think, oh, it's that woo-woo religious place. No, we're not. We love our veterans, and they know it. I mean, we greet them the first time with hugs. We even walk up and say, we're huggers here, like this, and can I give you a hug? And they'll look at us really funny and start to step back, and then they'll step right into the hug. And from that moment forward, we have them for the week. So we do the week-long retreats. no charge to them. We do not cover transportation for them to get here. And so far, they come from 38 states. We include the entire family. So when the parents are in their marriage and family workshop, the kids are in a workshop and they're learning the exact same skill set as the parents at their age appropriate level. We pack outdoor recreation around them, therapeutic recreation around them. We do therapeutic art. If we use other people's facilities, so if they have horses there, we go horseback riding. If they have a petting area, we do that. We follow what the other organization offers. We have just announced our Big Bad Audacious Dream. Like the military, we now have an acronym. It's a BBAD, which I think is pretty cool, knowing it's a big, bad, audacious dream. And that is to have our own facility one day. We want to do more for the families, and part of that involves doing reunion treats, bringing them back together, hopefully with the same cohort they were in when they came the first time. And if not, they all have that common ground of having been to a retreat. One of our other partners, a significant partner of ours, is Military Reboot Recovery. And Policy, you're nodding. We have used Reboot very successfully. We were trying to do it virtually because, like I said, our families come from 38 states, so it's hard to do Reboot in person. So trying to do it virtually, we found is not as effective. So what we're doing now is helping you find Reboot in your home community. And then if we can't do it, if Reboot's just simply not there or not coming anytime soon, then we'll drop back and do another Reboot. Something we started doing locally, we noticed, I'm over in Catawba County, and Hickory's kind of our base. Over here, there is a ton of stuff for the veterans. I mean, there's coffees and there's events and there's art and there's music and there's all kinds of therapeutic things. There's nothing for the spouses, specifically the women's spouses. So we just a few weeks ago had our very first tea for the ladies, and a tea party is something that we do at the retreats for the women. And then the men were like, well, what do we get? The ladies get tea with this fancy food and these fancy schmancy vintage teacups. And they didn't want the teacups, but they wanted something. So they get 6:30 in the morning men's breakfast around a campfire, and they're all given an Eagle Rock mug instead. That's what it looks like. And they get handheld breakfast and they're happy. It's just, okay, it's early in the morning. Mom's got the kids, we've got the guys. Anyway, and it's just a really beautiful thing. So we just had our first one. It was a very small group of women, but I think it's going to grow. And what we want to do is, across our footprint of 38 states, encourage our families when they go home. We're going to stay one step ahead of you in doing the tea parties, and you start them in your community for your female spouses. Of course, some of the men came up with, well, my wife served and I'm the spouse. What about me? And I'm like, men and women do not talk in front of each other when it's this kind of a topic. So we'll have to think up something else for the guys. Not going to do breakfast, but we might. They already have enough stuff. But, to tackle the male veteran spouse, they don't have much either. So it said we have to do it small, do it well. We'll branch out over time, but just be patient, because right now you're outnumbered like 10-1 by the women. So that's one thing we're doing in our local community. That's pretty much our program. We do stay with them as long as they need us to. I still stay in touch with one of our moms that's struggling right now, that came to our very first retreat in 2013. So we've stayed with her for 12 years. It's amazing when you follow people over the long haul, how much they still need hand holding. So, but most of them go on and soar like an eagle. So
that's wonderful.
That's us.
You've kind of mentioned some of who all you serve. You said you wanted to reach more active duty, right? Do you also serve like those in the National Guard or
Yes.
Reserve? Okay.
If you have ever worn or are wearing the uniform, we serve you.
And just to kind of mentally map out where we're all talking, Lynn, you're north of Charlotte, right? In Conover?
Our office is in Conover, yes. We are looking at a piece of property to have our own facility. And I say this because we haven't made a deal yet, but we're looking at property up in Wilk County, which is Wilkesboro, which is where Operation Heal Our Patriots and Samaritan's Purse is located. And that's been pointed out to me quite frequently with, you realize what you're walking into. And I said, so it's, they don't serve locally either. You know, their retreats are in Alaska and they don't do the whole family. They only do couples. So, we're the only common denominator we have with them is we're both faith-based. Yeah, we need a permanent home so we can have amenities that are consistent where, and our team's not on the road, because when we're on the road, our 6-day retreat becomes 8 or 9 days. So it gets very expensive very fast.
Yeah, well, please keep us updated if you do find that permanent space.
We will.
That'd be great.
We will, because we're not that far from you.
Mhm. Yeah. Just a hop, skip, and a jump. And
Yep.
Jason, you are up kind of northeast of us, like near the Virginia border.
If you go straight to, you know where Carr Lake is? Well, it's just right to Carr Lake. It's actually a reservoir off of Carr Lake, a man-made lake, and then that leads into the Roanoke Rapids. But if it's right between 95 and 85, right on the North Carolina Virginia border, it's 350 miles of water and 35 miles long, and it's a beautiful lake. It takes an hour and a half to get there from here.
Can I ask Jason a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need partners to come in and use your facility?
Do I allow partners?
Yes. Are you looking for partners we're looking for places to use, because we're probably getting ready to do a 5-year build out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I actually have 7 acres that I cleared for business development to have a vision to house 16. Because that's really a hard thing to do out there. You know, everyone has facilities or whatever, but you know, find a place that has 16 rooms. Find a place that's going to be, you know, cost effective and be right on site of what you're doing. So eventually I'm looking at it, and I actually have a brief here that shows another barn dominium that will house 16 and have the open areas and so forth. But that way you can have a reunion, you can a large reunion, you can have multiple couples and so forth. So when you start looking at, okay, we got 4 couples, well, you're looking at 8 bedrooms, you know, then you have a mentor, you have a doctor, you have a psychiatrist, you have a wellness center, you have all this. It's like, man, I'm up to 10 rooms already, you know? So that's one of the things I saved since starting this. My thing is getting out there and putting the word out that I have the facility that can handle a lot of what everyone else wants to do. And that was my thing. I have what you need. I'm here to help and serve. I had my Moses moment too when I was clearing the land, and it was that I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to give back and serve. And that's exactly how I changed it from building a garage to put all my toys and all this. It was like, no, you're going to go ahead and you're going to do this and you're going to give back and serve. And that's what I started doing. And I did it with myself and whoever I hired to help me for 3 years, and we completed it.
And you're also available, like anybody that has served, National Guard, Reserve.
Yes.
Spouses can come.
Yes, at first I was having the vision that it was going to be, okay, you have the Naval Special Warfare, you have the ones that retired, you have, the guys that come over when they get back from cruise, you can have the platoons and the elements come out. They call and say, yes, the key's by the horse bin, come on and have at it. All you need is, a toothbrush. Well, actually, I have a doctor down the road, so you don't even need that. So, but then, as I learned opening and starting looking out, it was like, well, no, first responders, special operation forces. And then it was like anyone that serves, anyone that needs it, anyone that could use the facility to enhance their mission requirement, mission set, came on.
That's great. So how do people find your services, or do you have a protocol in which they need to meet?
That's one of the things I have on here is I have my list. Again, I'm brand new. When I was building this, I refused any type of logistical money, started scheduling. It was totally construction. My focus was construction, build everything out. And then once that was over, then take a 2-month breather, and then let's start looking on the marketing, looking on, I never did social media until this, so I had to learn how to do all that. And, getting the word out, making a website and so forth. So Kennerson Ranch, lkg.com or Kennerson Ranch, you'll see it, it'll pop up at the lake, and it kind of shows everything from the buildings. There's a guest house. It's whoever the guests are is dedicated to them. No one lives in it full time. It's whoever comes out there.
I want to stay by myself there because I'm already on the page already.
And we have, you see it? Nice.
I've been on this since you've been talking.
And we have the barn dominium, which I have open to community events downstairs. The lake, the ladies club at the lake, they always come there. They go over the books. They have speakers come in from all over from from the next zoo of the bird sanctuary. They've come out. So again, they have all kinds of speakers that come here and use it. Open it up to the 4-H girls when they need a place. They wanted to have something going on. I'm just looking for more events to get the community together, get the social going, to get everyone together and enjoy it while there's a chance to have this one-of-a-kind facility to do it.
What's the link again to your website?
Kennerson Ranch, lkg.com.
There we go. Thanks, Ally.
And I also have a little welcome aboard package that I send out whoever coming out to let them know, this is the airport, it gives a general intermediate pinpoint location of everything. It tells, the 3 airports you could come in from, they're all international. I recommend RDU Raleigh because it's, again, an hour and 45 minutes away. It's easy, it's clean. I always fly out of there since leaving Virginia Beach. Thank goodness I don't have to go to Norfolk anymore, but anyway, and it's centrally located. So I have Bragg, I have JSOC there also, I have Virginia Beach, I have Camp Lejeune, Sherry Point, I have DC, I Camp Perry, and I'm in the middle of everything. And I'm proud of it, but it hasn't even taken off the ground yet. There's so much that can be done with that. And that's a big reason why I'm here. Again, I'm just starting in the logistics and putting it out. I just had my first golf tournament just to put more word out and to get people to actually bite the hook and everything else. It takes time, and I'm not going to say I'm the most savviest marketing person. Plus, I don't have a lot of time. I'm 5 books down on my to-do list. So, but anyway, I'm here to learn. I'm here to see what's available to help it prosper in the means of being able to be self-sufficient for itself and to grow and support and serve. And I'll be honest, I put it out to anybody that asks me, it's like my end goal is to go there free of charge for everyone. So now I have to rely on the other units and so forth and the nonprofits to definitely for their transportation and for meals. Now they can go to Food Line, whatever, because the kitchens are all open for whatever they want to do. The place is there when they get there. I'm just there to show them around, take them on the boats, and once they have that, they'll go all, whatever they want to do. But I'm always there. But my goal is, even at that point down the road, as soon as I have the guest house paid off, then why should I charge? Now I'm going to be looking for my donations and the foundations to build that 16-bedroom place to bring in other ones. So the boats are there to use. Everything else is there. What I do is do the maintenance, but I had to do that. Everything else is paid off. I had to get a loan because of a construction loan because of insurance. I couldn't do that on myself. If I could have, I would have, but that's my only, and I'm like, I think it's like $295 left on it. And I mean, honestly, for a business development plan and so forth going in, I'm up front with everything. And that's how I roll. And it's like, you go out there and you're gonna have a great time. And my thing is once that's done, it's like carte blanche. Come out, enjoy it. And if after your first time, you want to come back again, the keys are over there. You know where the spoons are. The ice cream's in the top shelf, and you guys know what channel you need. And the boat is full, and go at it.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Yes.
Lynn, what's the protocol for a veteran or family members to access your services?
You go online to our website, and on the home page, if you scroll about halfway down, you'll see a link to fill in an application. one of our team members will reach back out to set up an interview time. We do interview everybody. We get to know them so we can meet each individual within your family at their exact point of need. And we're finding needs very widely. And sometimes we don't even uncover the needs until you arrive. And because we don't interview your kids, we do interview both the veteran and the spouse, or the active duty and the spouse. For active duty, we do not report to command. And I've had commanders literally, I've gone toe to toe and nose to nose with a general screaming in my face, "You will give me an after action report." And I'm, sir, all due respect, hand up, I step back. This is my personal space. You're allowed in it when I invite you. And I've been called the rudest person on the face of the planet, but that's okay. I don't report to generals. And I've had them challenge me, "Well, who do you report to?" And I just kind of go, "The big guy upstairs." And anyway, I share that to say, we don't divulge who you are. We don't tell anybody who you are. There are no after action reports with the VA, with command if you're still active duty or guard reserves. What happens at Eagle Rock stays at Eagle Rock. If you want your commander to know, then you get the honor and pleasure of telling them that, because we don't. First off, it's a violation of HIPAA. And because we do uncover that information. So we're very, very protective of our families. We do use them in social media some, but that's done with their signature on a permission to photograph and permission to release if they say no. And we never, ever use active duty, guard, or reserves in photographs because they're still active. And we know there are enemies in America looking for them. So we're very protective of them. But that, I say all that to say I want people to feel safe and secure coming. That's why we use safe and secure locations that are kind of off the beaten track. And it's just been an interesting journey. So I hope that answered your question.
Yes, and what does the timeline look like between them submitting their interest in the interview and then actually going to the retreat?
That depends, not entirely on us. It's going to depend on you. We just heard from somebody this morning that reached out and said they were scheduled to come in 2021 and he had mandatory training, and he's just now gotten around where the family's able to come. So it's been 4 years. We try to turn you around quicker than that. That's our goal. That's why it's also the other reason we need to grow is we have a wait list of I'm almost nervous to put it out there. We have almost 700 families on our wait list, but we might have to call 100 to get 10 to come. Because we don't operate during non-school time. We don't operate in the summer. So that's another, I could give you a list of reasons why we need our own place, as long as your arm, I guess. And being able to operate in the summer is a major one for us. We don't need to operate in the winter because it's Western North Carolina and the only thing to do is be cold. It's not like we get snow and can go sledding and stuff. It's just cold outside. So, and we do love, to Jason's point, we love the Milky Way. We love the starry sky at night and being able to see things. And when you don't have ambient light and you're in the country, you can see the Milky Way, unlike being in town or even in Catawba County. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I hate light pollution so much. I love the stars.
Oh, yeah. I've been known to lie in a blanket outside and just, hands behind my head, just looking up. And I've had friends I have a group of friends that I travel with, and sometimes they'll see me do that. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "There's room on the blanket, lie down next to me." And I just look up and they're like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
They never think to look up.
So if we wanted to refer someone to Eagle Rock Camp, would we just direct them to your website, or would you want
Yes.
us to send an email? Okay, the website?
If they want to, I'm the only one that can bump somebody to the front of the line. So if someone is in a dire need of a marriage and family retreat, they're going to get, we typically do first come, first serve. But if I get a call from somebody that said, "We've got divorce papers in our hands and papers in one hand and the pen in the other," we've had them show up at retreats with divorce papers in the console of the car. And the last night the ones that have shared with us have told us that the last night is talent. We do a good old fashioned summer camp talent night campfire, and they'll burn the divorce papers in the campfire. And it's important to know our divorce rate is less than 4% over time. That's a big number because in special operations, it's 90 to 95%. And in regular, and this is why we like serving the active duty because they are younger by 10 to 15 years, and the veterans have bigger, better outcomes than the younger active duty because they have that 15 or 20 more years of trauma piled on top of it. And usually they're on their second, third, even fourth wife, and they're just barely over somewhere between 40 and 45 years old. We like getting the younger ones because they come in, yes, we don't have the dramatic improvements, but they're coming in with, when we ask them what they hope to learn or gain, it's we want to make sure we're doing marriage right. We've only been married a year. I don't want to be like my buddy that's on his third wife and he's 28. We teach them how to do it right from the get-go. So it's, big difference in the two groups we serve.
That's great. And that's an amazing number, less than 4%.
It is.
Congratulations.
And without intention, I like to say something this way because we talk about what we do differently than so many nonprofits. And one of our goals is to change the dialogue. Part of that dialogue is about veteran and active duty suicide, which I'm hearing. I'm not seeing statistics, but Paul, if you have some, I'd love to get them. I think you might. I'd love to get statistics on active duty suicide because I'm hearing it's skyrocketing. We like to say that we teach them how to have a life that they don't feel the need to escape from. And because that and isolation is what drives the event. And we have found it's not all mental health. 9 times out of 10, it's that moral and spiritual injury. It's why we partner with Reboot. And so our team has participated over these years in averting 22 suicides. And those are the ones that have called and told us. We have lost none to suicide. So that's our other big statistic that we love.
Jason, how do you like to receive referrals? Is it also through your website or?
Anyway,
Okay.
yes, any phone calls, tell me what you need. Everything's flexible. Computer, text on the website and so forth. So everything's linked in my phone. So
Perfect.
again, drive up and enjoy it, spend a day and over 2 days and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's happening quite a bit because that's how you actually really, I won't say sell the place, but that's how you would sell the place and say, this is what you have. Do I need to modify it for you? What else would you like? What do you need? Because I can get it.
You have kayaks?
Yes. Stand-up paddles, kayaks, almost every type of water recreation you can. And I have it for the disabled veterans too. For the amputees and for the ones with prosthetics and so forth. So we have Adam Fields there and we have everything for them to use also. So they don't miss out. Nobody misses out. And there's 50 miles of horse trails.
Can we bring the horses?
Yes, you can.
Wow.
Our neighbor has the actual circle fence and the corrals and we have pastures and so forth. And a lot of them come out there, close to the winery that we have there. And they bring the horse and pitch tent right there and go at it. And there's actually two equestrian retreats that everybody comes from all over the East Coast and out west also, and hang out there. And it's a lot of fun. You'll be driving next ride and you'll see all these kids on the horses, and then you'll see all these other groups. So again, there's a lot to do. I will say after what Lynn was just talking about, because while it's still on my head is with the suicide rate, it's just like PTSD. No one really knew what it was when I started out. But as we learn and as we see more, and unfortunately see more suicides, I see a lot here recently, and when I say recently, a couple of years and so forth, is that we've changed the terminology and it's okay. But this is the thing is with the social being together and talking, and everyone knows if you hear any type of the way your tone might be or something else that might lead you down that road, you're on it. And it takes everyone's self, being aware of it and awareness for everyone to jump in. And we're always here. We're always there. And it's not, we're not going to just counsel. No, hey, let's get together. Let's just hang out together. The biggest thing that I've seen was is what we call PTSD. It was a lot of it is rage. And rage and being on the cutting edge of the spear. And when you're taking off the cutting edge of the spear, nothing is the same.
You don't have anywhere to put it.
And then the rage. And you talk about, well, he's always mad at me. Well, it's because things are coming back and there's rage. When the rage comes out, you don't realize what the rage is. The rage can lead you to do a lot of things. To drink, and then cloud your mind, ruin relationships, and it puts you in another state down in that rabbit hole where you don't feel like you can get out. And that's really something that you come to the lake, you're gonna sit there and you are gonna feel refreshed when you're there. Even if it's just sitting by the lake, having you a cup of iced tea or however you want to do it and get out on the water, or just sit there and watch the animals and be on the lake and enjoy the boats and people don't even know. It's like, wow. Next thing you know, they're sleeping until 2 o'clock because their body is healing. And they wake up and wow, they don't know it. And I have looked at Lynn's for the Eagle Rock permission statement, and I've actually reached out and I actually sent a blurb. I think it was about 45 days ago or so. I have actually sent out wanting to talk with Eagle Rock about having my facility and working together for, even if there's 10 things out there, at least picking one or whatever that can help. One's better than none.
Jason, do you remember how you sent that? Because I haven't seen it.
Email. I think it was off your website.
Yeah. Did you send it? I wonder if you sent it to info.
It could have been through info.
Okay.
And that's another thing I feel I've come, it's
Okay.
being around the lake, and it's like, well, we have a golf event. I'm just putting this in text. Since it's such a, out in the environment, all by ourselves, whatever, everybody and all the businesses always get slammed. Hey, can you do our little raffle? Can you help us with this? Can you help? After a while, you have a business. Next, you had 200 people wanting sponsorship or this, whatever. It gets. So I sort of look outside. I mean, it's because I understand that. And I look outside and so forth, and I find out when you get into big companies, I found a big difference being nonprofit than when you weren't nonprofit. So that was definitely a good thing going nonprofit. But reaching actually to them, because again, it's the AI now and so forth, everything generated and 2 keywords pop up. No, we can't do that. Or you're not in the time window. And you can tell when it's generated. And so not to say that, but I'm just saying, those are some of the things I see a lot now is trying to go out into the world and kind of throw this out there. It's different.
So kind of to wrap everything up, what are some of the gaps or struggles that you've identified that we can maybe collaboratively, or if you find somebody in this room that you think could help, solve?
I mean, top thing right off the top of my head, to help, dialing into the government funding, the other sponsorships from other nonprofits for trusts and so forth and I don't know how to get into that. You keep hearing about grants and so forth. Here we are starting brand new. All my funds went into building the facility and so forth and trying to make it some more, but I have to be on the leash because my priority is animals and life support, safety issues and so forth, and then keep on. And I'm at a point where I'd like to change life jackets out and so forth, whatever. But I say for me to get bigger is the marketing, is to understand grants and getting into capitalized to either write proposals to receive money, especially out of AG. They get so many millions of dollars and a lot of it goes to the service industry, but there's only a few service people out there and they have it for zoos, exotics, or a school or a college institute, which is, they don't have service. We're the only ones that have service. So that's a whole different environment. But the same thing goes that they want youth projects, and they have educational. And if you're not a school or you're not this, it's really hard. And if you really don't understand or know how to write a grant or a proposal, I don't know what I don't know, and I am dangerous. So, and I just don't have the time to do that. I don't have the expertise. The other thing, like I said, was marketing, and getting the word out. And that takes time. I know a lot of time I talk to people and, there's some that started 20 years ago and they're really at the above water now, just sailing along like they should be, but it takes a lot of time and so forth. I don't have that time. I put everything in. I'm here to, I'm not stopping. So, whatever I can do to get the word out, to help everyone. How can I get more funds to get things done to keep the ranch going? Because like I said earlier, once that's there, my next thing is to include something like the 16 room, if not 20 room, to actually bring more in. Lake's not going anywhere. Yes. Does that answer the question?
Yes, and just for everybody, we have it's small marketing, but we have our VMFA Facebook page. If anybody has any flyers or upcoming events, just send it to me or Brooke and I'll post it on that page. That's something that we can kind of help with in terms of marketing.
Right. Bringing everyone's mission statement to a place that they can use it is awesome. And I wish I could bring more at one time, but again, I'm limited to my space. Also, there's only so many people you can put on a boat. So if I have the spouses are coming in, so I want to give them a flight over the lake while the guys are going fishing on the lake professionally. Then they come all together, then we all get on the boat, wherever the girl's gonna, or they can all get on the same kayak or sup board, and they all go together, and I give them a navigational tour. So they actually have points they have to hit. And so forth, and then, the cookouts, the dinners and all that kind of stuff, and then after that, night putt. So it's, when they leave, they actually want to take a break probably, but, bringing it there to where you have education. Some type of education, some type of mentoring system in place. Whether it could be, like I was saying, from the conservation to, land nav, stargazing. I mean, it's amazing how clear now everything is, and people say, okay, tell me where north is. Okay, and those are important things to know, and it's basic, but okay, do a hide at 32 degrees tonight, build a hide. Things happen, but it's good to know. 4-H teaches it, Voice of America teaches, or Scouts of America teach it. So I'm here to do whatever I can.
Yeah.
But again, marketing, grants, and down a vision to get business development, but the business development is vision to give back more.
Great, thank you. And Lynn, you've kind of mentioned it with wanting to find a permanent space, but are there any other gaps or struggles that you've identified that maybe we can as a group work to help you with?
Really just, I think once we're hoping to meet with the property owner on Friday and see what can be done to take the property off the market and give us time to raise the funds. We're trying to do a business model that nonprofit gurus and coaches have said that you can't do that. And I'm like, don't tell me I can't do something, because I'm a retired CEO. I've done a lot.
There you go.
Yeah,
I can't have help.
don't tell me that. Plus we've got the big guy in the background saying, yeah, we're getting this done. And I don't mean to be irreverent about God, but I'll tell you what, we're on that first name friendly basis these days. I don't call him sir anymore. If that makes sense. I think really just get the word out once it's there, because we're going to need a ton of money. We're looking probably at $8 million to buy and build. One of the low estimate came in at less than 7 million, and I'm just throwing in another $1 million to say this is what we're going to need. But we're going to need a host of volunteers to just come and cut trees and clean brush and clean and just do everything you need to do when you're in that construction mode. We'll build it out in 4 phases over 5 years. And but we want to be operational within 3. In fact, we've even driven a stake in the ground for July 16th, 2028 is the day we want to have our opening ribbon cutting. So, and there's a biblical reason behind that. But yeah, other than that, just in the meantime, keep referring families to us. And I did reach out, and Carla, I will get you a flyer. Thank you for sharing your email. So I'll get that to you when we're off the call. And I appreciate that. Let's get you a retreat flyer out.
You're welcome.
In the meantime, if the group can help with this, because I don't know how connected y'all are. We served a group of special operations in the National Guard, and they're all Green Berets. And we had 6 families. And they're all active. They're more than just National Guard. All of them actually were on orders all the time. And they got special, am I saying it right? They got TDY to come to the retreat for a week. Yeah, I don't quite know all the jargon between the regular military and the National Guard and find what do they say the same and what do they say different. They're not, special operators are not supposed to accept the gift of our retreat because the value of it is so high. They can accept this mug, which is $18. They can't accept a $4,000 or $5,000 retreat. So we're trying to figure out how do we get the military to pay for it? Because this was done through command. It was through command chaplain. In that state, it was outside of North Carolina, but in that state, it was done through command chaplain. And when I brought up funding with him, he said, well, let's get one done and see how we do. And if it's successful, then we'll take that walk. So we're starting that walk. We also have the ear of the command general over U.S. SOCOM Warrior Care Coalition down in Tampa. So we're looking for how can we serve this group of special operators and have it. Thank you for that. I know SOF has that funding, but how do we get to it? That's the key I'm looking for is who do we talk to about it? We know the funding's there. We just never can get anybody to tell us. So Melissa, thank you.
Lynn, I ran in that similar lane also with the active duty side, and working with the chaplains. And the same thing, let's run one and let's see how it goes. And once this one works on, then the other group is going to do theirs and so forth. And their comptrollers were putting money aside for these events on the side. And then you'll see other units and commands would go out with proposals from these for these retreat facilities to provide this, whether it be MWR, whether it be the Army, such and such. And that's where the grant writer, the marketing, the proposal writer, because they are out there on the proposal for work, just like you do for construction or anything for the military. And they have them through those places. Special operations usually does have a fund that they come into the comptrollers. Again, that's when you need to start with the PAO, and the PAO drive you into whatever department that works with. So that would be the first link. Or find another nonprofit that already has that and ask them, and maybe they can do a right seat drive into that command. C4 Foundation out in San Diego is the one I used, since they do a lot, practically all just active duty. And that's what Charles Keating, father, does that. And so they have his ranch outside of San Diego. They have nothing on the East Coast. And so I was proposing, bring your instructors, your mentors, how you want it, whatever, and then you come over here and you can bring some from the East Coast teams and so forth.
Okay.
There's a way of doing that. I've actually sent a letter out to MWR. I sent one out to the Navy, and I sent one out to SOCOM last week. So as soon as I hear something back, if anything, I'll let everyone know.
Jason, I want to step aside from focus on what you guys are doing for just a second. Jason, there is a U.S. SOCOM Warrior Care Coalition in Orlando, Florida in June. And that's where you can actually set a table up. You can meet people. And last year, General Kenton, who is the command general over all of that, had a separate private cocktail party for a handful of us that he handpicked out of the room. And so I was blessed to have about 30 minutes one-on-one time with him. So the seed's been planted. He and I have agreed to meet again this year. So I know it's a long process, but yes. And I also see the note, we are on sam.gov. We've been there and so far have not gained anything from it, but we're changing as we are getting congressional support from our 2 senators, and we have a new congressman. And I'm also hoping to, at some point later this year, I'm giving time to for the dust to settle, but I really want to get in front of Pete Hegseth. So.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. We're running a little over time, so people are dropping off the call. If you have to go, that's okay. But we like to wrap up our meetings with any updates around the room. For our next UMFA meeting, it'll be April 8th, and we'll be talking about employment. But we also have 2 other key VMFA dates, and that's gonna be our May meeting on the 13th. This will be our another mission briefing. We'll have legal aid here to give an in-depth conversation about how they can serve veterans with their homeless veterans project, I think. And July 8th will be our next Triangle Veterans Housing Symposium. Very excited. This will be in the email, but we're very excited to share that. Are there any other updates from around the room? No? Okay, well, we also have, we have registration still open for our Operation Art 1-day workshops. So I'll share that as well in their email, but thank you all for joining us today.
I hope you and Lynn can connect outside of this.
I do too. I hope there's a lot for everyone, and reaching into whatever lane, and when I say lane, commands, organizations, military units and so forth. And having this put together for us is awesome, and being able to do the network and actually help each other out, because it's all, to me, it's a cause to help everyone else out too. So whatever's good for one can help the other one out and so forth. And what I learn, I can pass along too.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And I want to give a shout out to Melissa for all the information she was sharing too. Melissa, we will share the chat in the follow-up email. So that information will go out in the email too.
Those might be interesting, if not useful, contacts for you.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Everyone have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.